A damselfish darts through shallow water near a sandy seafloor in Indonesia, being pursued by something that for a moment looks nothing like an octopus at all. Two arms trail behind it, banded black and white, weaving through the water with the exact undulating motion of a venomous sea snake. The damselfish doesn't wait to find out whether it's real. It flees immediately straight into open water, exactly where an actual sea snake happens to be one of its natural predators. This isn't camouflage. It's targeted impersonation, and the animal responsible chose that specific disguise, out of many it's capable of, because it understood something about who was watching. This is the mimic octopus, first formally described by scientists in the late 90s, found primarily in the shallow, muddy waters of the Indo-Pacific, especially around Indonesia. Most octopus species rely on camouflage, matching color and texture to blend into their surroundings. The mimic octopus does something considerably more advanced, actively reshaping its body posture, arm movements, and coloration to imitate the specific appearance and swimming behavior of other animals entirely, not just hiding from predators, but actively performing as something else. Researchers studying this species, most notably marine biologist Mark Norman, who first documented the behavior extensively, have confirmed several specific, repeatable impersonations. The octopus can flatten its body and undulate rapidly across open sand, mimicking a venomous flatfish closely enough to fool observers at a glance. It can tuck 6 of its 8 arms into a burrow entirely, extending only 2, banded in contrasting colors and moving them in the same rhythmic pattern a banded sea snake uses to swim. An impersonation detailed enough to include the snake's characteristic movement, not just its coloring. It can spread its arms outward in a specific radiating pattern that closely resembles the venomous spines of a lionfish, deterring predators that have learned to avoid that exact silhouette. Here's the part of this that genuinely startled researchers studying the behavior, because mimicry itself isn't unique in nature. What makes the mimic octopus remarkable is how it appears to choose. Documented observations have found that the octopus doesn't randomly select which animal to imitate. It appears to match its disguise specifically to the type of threat currently present, using the banded sea snake impersonation specifically in situations involving predators, like certain damselfish, that themselves are preyed upon by sea snakes, effectively using a threat's own natural fear response against it rather than simply hiding. That kind of context-specific selection, choosing the right disguise for the right specific audience, is a level of behavioral sophistication rarely documented in an invertebrate, and it's part of why the mimic octopus continues to be studied closely by researchers interested in cephalopod cognition. Beyond the 3 most rigorously documented impersonations, naturalists and researchers conducting extended field observation have recorded the mimic octopus performing convincing imitations of a considerably longer list of marine animals over time, including jellyfish, sea anemones, mantis shrimp, stingrays, and several others, bringing the total number of distinct impersonations documented across observation records to somewhere around 15, though the flatfish, sea snake, and lionfish remain the 3 impersonations backed by the most detailed, formally published behavioral study. What makes all of this possible physically comes down to the same extraordinary skin structure found across octopus species generally, specialized pigment-containing cells called chromatophores that can shift color and pattern within a fraction of a second, combined with the octopus's famously flexible, nearly boneless body, capable of contorting into shapes almost no other animal on Earth could replicate. The mimic octopus simply applies that shared toolkit with unusual precision and unusual purpose, treating its own body less like a fixed shape and more like a costume it can change without ever leaving the scene. So the next time you imagine camouflage as simply blending in and staying still, remember, there's an animal in the shallow waters of Indonesia doing something considerably more calculated, actively studying the specific threat in front of it, then performing exactly the right disguise to make that threat decide on its own to leave. Out of everything this octopus is documented impersonating, which one do you think would actually fool you if you saw it happen in front of you? Tell me in the comments and subscribe to NatureCrest for more deep dives into the animal kingdom's most extraordinary and most intelligent creatures.